Hello and welcome to the Sobirovs Law Firm show. Canada's government has announced their budget for 2025 and it has some implications about immigration. Today we will be talking about Canada's budget and immigration and what it means to you in the coming 3 years, 26, 27 and 28. So the way it works, I present a brief presentation and then I will be ready for your questions. But in the meantime, start typing your questions if they're already ready. And I will be staying after the live session for about an hour after the live session in the comment section of the social media that you're using to watch this live session. So in the live sessions, anything can happen. If we get disconnected, come back to the same spot and we will continue where we are left off. So thank you for those who subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's growing steadily and your support is highly appreciated. So today's topic is Canada's 2025-2026 budget. Like basically it's announced 2025, but actually it's as you can see, budget 2025, but it's not applicable to 2025. It starts being implemented, hopefully fast, in 2026. So because it's presented in 2025, the statement is a bit misleading, but that's officially known as 2025 budget. And there are many topics that the budget discusses. Usually, Canada's budget is a substantive document. It's like almost 500-page document, and there are several pages about the immigration. What happens in the budget presentation is that federal government, not the provincial government, federal government sets out the general stage and the philosophy with respect to certain areas, including immigration. So in today's presentation, I will give a highlight of what has been discussed, top 10 things that you need to know for immigration in 2026 and 2028. In the next 3 years, that will be the philosophy, the approach of government, but more will come very, very soon. So some technical details about the budgets in Canada. One is, at the moment, it was just presented. It has not been adopted, okay? That's a very technical issue. It has been presented. There might be some negotiation between opposition parties because the Liberal Party that is ruling at the moment is a minority government. So they need others, they have to have others' support in order to pass this budget into, let's say, an implementation stage. So it's not adopted yet. Second, Conservatives already said that they don't like the budget. It's too much. There's a $78 billion deficit predicted inserted into this budget. It's not what they call affordable budget. Now, we may be pushed to have another federal elections. So basically, the federal government is presenting the budget. If nobody adopts it, which means that they don't trust the government, now we have to go to the elections again. If that happens, then everything is off the table. We go to try to elect another prime minister, but that's very unlikely. But in theory, that's possible. The budget sets a general stage, a general tone in many sectors. Immigration is also mentioned in about 5 pages, so we will go into that detail. But Immigration Canada, IRCC, will be presenting a detailed document very soon. So there is another document that is coming, which is a mandate letter from the Prime Minister to the Immigration Minister, and there is another document or announcement of exact numbers by the Immigration Minister in terms of immigration levels plan in 2026 and 2028. So there are more things to come in a way. Now, top 10 items that I think you should be aware of in this budget are the following. First, the tone is set as quality over quantity. So we will be accepting less but more qualified candidates going forward. And please note the word plan. Plan is an intention. It's not a law. It's not an obligation. It's just a plan. Some plans are fully realized. Some plans are partially realized. and some plans get never realized. So it's a plan. So take that word, to understand that it's not a solid thing. Okay, permanent resident targets will be stabilized at around 380,000 permanent residents. So these are about permanent residents per year for 26, 28. This is down from 15,000, down from 395,000 that was set already in 2025. And I think we have covered in 2025. This year, I think we fulfilled that 395,000 target. This will keep the arrivals as a permanent residence. And here I don't agree with the word arrival, because most of the permanent residents that will be getting the permanent residence status, most of them have already arrived in Canada. Okay, they are in Canada, and arrival means something new coming, some new numbers coming in, but I don't think that's the case in here. But the arrivals, as the government uses that word, it will be around 1% of Canada's current population. Current population is about 41,600,000, I believe. That's the rough estimate, but it is, I think, below 1%. So it's the steady level. Second, major reduction in temporary residence. That's the key. Temporary residence admissions are dropping from 673,000 in 2025 to 385,000. Again, you can see the similar numbers for permanent residents, 380,000, for temporary residents, 385,000. And in 26 and in 27, it goes further down, and 28, it's about 370,000. That's a 43% reduction as compared to other previous years. By 2027, we'll have 43% reduction. So I will tell what these numbers mean to you if you are an immigration candidate. Number 3, economic focus intensifies. Now, with the budget, the economic immigration is the priority now, and that share of immigrants, economic immigrants, is increasing from 59% of total immigration volume to 64% of the volume. That it's a prioritizing skilled workers who can contribute to Canada's economy. These are vague statements. What's the contribution to Canada's economy and so on? This is to be determined further. I hope more details will come from Immigration Ministry. Okay, number 4, addressing unsustainable growth. The immigration plan and immigration statements that were made during the budget presentation were about temporary residents. They surged from 3% over to 7.5%. 7.5% of Canada's population. It is too much, according to the government. Now they want to reduce it to below 5% by the end of 2027. That's why you see aggressive reduction of temporary residents in Canada by almost, as we saw, 43%. Right, 43% is significant, and while that's the government's aim to reduce as much as possible. Well, we'll see. Number 5, results already showing that asylum claims are down by 33%. Temporary foreign workers are down by 50%, and then international students arrivals down to 60% compared to 2024. So every category of temporary residents is going down. And number 6, pathway for protected persons. There will be, according to the government, one-time initiative to recognize eligible protected persons as permanent residents over the next 2 years. So 26, 27, and that will accelerate their integration. But what is eligible protected person? That category has not been defined yet. So we will see what's going on, and Immigration Canada will give us more detail. Who will be converted into permanent residents, who are among those who are already in Canada under protected status. Okay, I think my back screen is acting weird, but that's okay. We can turn this off, so not to distract you. So now these changes have tremendous effect and profound effect to future applicants. But this plan, as I discussed with my colleagues, is a plan not yet in motion. It has not yet been adopted. There might be some tweaks, but overall, that's the pathway we are going in terms of immigration. The next three items that I want you to focus on is work permit, number 7, work permit holders fast track up to 33,000 work permit holders with established roots in communities will transition to permanent residency in 26 and 27. Again, this seems to be vague. Is it in addition to already planned 385,000, 80,000 permanent residents, or is it within that 380,000? We don't know yet, but this seems to me like an additional number to whatever we are proposing in the budget in terms of permanent residents. What do you think? Is this 33,000 already embedded into the plan, or it's on top of the plan that was announced by the government? We'll figure it out when next announcement will be made. Number 8, regional and sectoral considerations. That the plan will consider industries impacted by tariffs and unique needs of rural and remote communities. That's the key word I want you to remember, because in the next part of my presentation, how it will affect you, rural and remote communities will be prioritized in terms of temporary foreign workers. Remember, we are decreasing temporary foreign workers, but at the same time, I think government will make some exceptions to rural and remote communities. Number 9, Francophone immigration. It's booming. It has been booming for the last 2 years. Now, Canada's government wants to increase the admission of Francophone immigrants that will be living outside of Quebec, and the targets are 9%, 9.5%, and 10.5%. That's approximately 30,000 to 35,000 people annually who are French speakers will be admitted as permanent residents. So that's very ambitious. That's a good target. So it means many of my clients, they were asking, will there be a decrease in French-speaking immigration? Now you can see, no, there will be an increase rather than decrease in that kind of immigration category. Okay. Now, again, I have some bonus points too. Here, number 10. There's a problem of recognizing foreign credentials. Now, government will allocate some money to help recognize the foreign credentials, focusing primarily on healthcare and construction sectors to better utilize immigrants' existing qualifications. A bonus point here is that Canada is investing $1.7 billion to recruit over 1,000 highly qualified international researchers, and this is a accelerated pathway especially for H-1B visa holders. So if you are one of those H-1B visa holders, consider that a bonus for you. The government's stated official goal is restore control, clarity, and consistency. I hope there will be a consistency after this plan is implemented to the whole immigration system, while maintaining compassion and driving economic competitiveness. But these are overall statements, and what all these mean for you as a candidate. That's what we will come back very soon. Let's take a quick break, and we will come back to that top 10 tips and what it means to you as a candidate. Let's take a quick break. Thank you.
Are you constantly on the move, managing your business, and looking for a convenient way to stay informed about expanding your business to Canada? Look no further. Introducing Speaking of Canada, the podcast that keeps you in the loop on all things related to Canadian business immigration, delivering the latest news and valuable tips and captivating interviews, no matter how busy your schedule gets. Speaking of Canada has got you covered.
right, we're back. I couldn't fix the background anyways, so more details, more analysis will be coming to Sobirovs.com website, and we have some success stories that you can check. Recently, we did the work permit extension, and we did Alberta rural immigration. As you can see here, read these success stories. Maybe it's relevant to you. Okay, now. Coming back to what these implies in terms of future candidates, if you are one of those future candidates. One, permanent residency should be your best effort, okay? Your best bet and your best effort is trying to become permanent residents right away. That means young, educated, experienced candidates with great language skills and great profession. So if you are in that category, focus on permanent residence. But don't underestimate temporary pathways, but they are closing fast. So if you are currently qualified under temporary pathways like students or workers and so on, apply fast before this new change, the new plan is implemented. Number three, skills matter more than ever. Become a better economic migrant. If you are in the process of preparing yourself for Canadian immigration, you need to focus on your language skills, trying to acquire the right skills, the right profession, and the right diploma or qualifications to become a better economic migrant, because economic migration will be approximately 64% of the whole immigration volume to Canada. Number four, if you are already in Canada, it's a great news. If you have documented your activities, your taxes, your payroll, your experience, and so on, we will see 30,000 people who are already working in Canada becoming permanent residents. That's a substantial number. 30,000, it's a good number. Number five, competition will intensify. Now, the whole philosophy of quality over quantity is coming up. So you need to improve yourself and be ready for a more competitive environment in Canada, because the spots are limited, are being decreased overall. Regional strategy could be your edge as a number six, tip number six. Both in personal immigration and business immigration, consider locations outside of big cities like Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, Calgary, and so on. Consider rural immigration as one of your, if you haven't considered before, now is the time to consider. French speakers will continue to have a clear advantage, which means that if you've started your French language classes, don't give up, continue, improve yourself. You will be at an advantage position when it comes to immigration. Number eight, your foreign credentials will finally count. I don't know how. The how is coming from Immigration Canada, hopefully. They are now moving forward with recognizing foreign credentials, especially in healthcare, construction, and hopefully in other professions as well. Number nine, students face the toughest restrictions. The number of students are being decreased substantially. It's unless you are being admitted to top Canadian law schools, top Canadian schools, universities, I would reconsider coming to Canada as a student for the time being. Now, those who are holding H-1B visas in the US, this is the time for you to enjoy the express lane. Hopefully when it opens up, consider that express lane very seriously. Now, the advice. Three categories of advice I want to give you as a practical advice, not a legal advice. One is prioritize direct PR applications, express entry, PNPs. Maybe there are other tech immigration pathways that brings you at least temporarily, and then there's a pathway for permanent residence. French language training, very important. It has become important already, but the importance of it is increasing. In-demand occupation, healthcare, construction, tech will be prioritized. Take care of your qualifications. Provincial programs in smaller provinces, and as we can see from our success stories recently, Alberta, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, British Columbia, they all have great PNP and smaller community-related programs. So consider them very seriously. Credential assessments need to be done early as possible, because usually they don't expire, right? Once you assess your diploma, that assessment document doesn't expire. You can just use it in the future. Now, those who haven't made their steps or were in the process of considering coming to Canada, reconsider the following situation. Study permits as primary pathways, you need to reconsider that. There was a very big noise in the immigration community that, oh, come to Canada to study and then you will become permanent resident. Not anymore. Unless you are going into top tier institutions like top schools in Canada, study permit, you may reconsider that, okay? Of course, it's up to you if you want to spend money, get some quality education and go back to your home country, that's okay. But from the perspective of becoming permanent residents, that could be reconsidered, okay? Waiting to apply. If you were waiting and there's no time to wait anymore. You've waited enough. You've seen what's going on, and now it's time to act. Okay, reconsider waiting. If you have made your mind to come to Canada as an immigrant. Now, number 3, major city focus, explore regional options. Now, all the immigrants, majority of immigrants want to come to big cities. Now you need to reconsider that seriously, because government is taking the real steps to spread the benefits of immigration across the country. Now they will be treating rural and remote communities differently than the top destinations, top big cities in Canada. So major city focus should be reconsidered. Act now if you are already in Canada on any valid status. Act now, find out which pathways are suitable, the ones that are coming up, and act fast. If you are on US visa, H-1B visa in the US, act now. Find out, prepare your documents. If documents are missing, improve the documents, and so on. If you are in healthcare or construction, act now. If you speak French, tout le monde, act fast, very rapidement. If you have high CRS score, obviously try to complete your application and be at the top of the pool, and soon you will be selected, hopefully. If you want to discuss with us, we will listen to you, we will understand your problem, your priorities, we will find the right strategy. We focus on business immigration, so those who want to explore business immigration options, go to Sobirovs.com website, contact us. Let's spend an hour with you to discuss whatever you want to discuss. And our team has been doing it for over 13 years now. We've seen many turbulent waters and changes. We know how to navigate these waters. Talk to us. Sobirovs Law Firm is your partner in your immigration. Okay, now let's take a quick break and come back to your questions, okay? All right, now it's question time. Your questions, my answers. If you have any questions, let me know. This is the time to ask your questions. Here we go. And plus, if you cannot ask your questions now you need time to reconsider some options. You can leave your questions as a comment in the next hour after this live session. In the next hour, we will be in the comment section. We will answer your questions. So any questions that you can send over as a comment would be appreciated, okay? Now we have some questions in advance. We collect questions on a regular basis. We will start with those questions. Let's see, questions from the threads. We are also on the threads social media. Now, the question from the threads is, what should I do if I'm considering business immigration to Canada? Well, first of all, talk to a lawyer. Address your aspirations, what you are trying to achieve with business immigration. Maybe, just maybe, business immigration is not right for you. Just to clarify whether you need to go business immigration pathway or personal immigration pathway, first thing to do is to talk to a lawyer. Usually, in our case, that's true. Usually, we talk to a potential candidate. We identify goods and bads and ugly stuff in terms of business immigration, if it applies to you. Then we follow up with another meeting after the consultation. Okay, you digest the information we provide to you. We will analyze, brainstorm during the strategy meeting. Then you come back to us with more questions, and we will have another meeting with our potential candidates for business immigration. So, first thing is, in this new reality, is business immigration the right fit for you? If it is, after you talk to a lawyer, to an experienced business immigration lawyer, then you will have a clear pathway on what can or cannot be done in terms of immigration. Now, because it's a budget announcement, just an announcement, not adoption, we will need to see what Immigration Canada comes back in terms of. We have a rough number, the total number of 380,000 permanent residents in 2026. Now, from that number, the allocation to the programs, individual programs, what we want to see, and hopefully Immigration Canada will give us those details very soon, and we will see what kind of leverage we have in terms of business immigration. Okay. Now, it's just to answer your question very shortly. Talk to a lawyer and then discuss it what business pathways are suitable for you. Next, LinkedIn question from LinkedIn. Will taxes or investment rules change for foreign business owners? Well, the new budget mentions about some incentives to attract investment into Canada, but I'm not a tax lawyer. There will be some write-offs, I think, in the budget. As I said, budget is like 500-page document. There are some tax incentives already embedded in that budget. They want to attract investments. I'm sure there will be some rules changing for those who want to invest and do great things in Canada. But at this stage, I cannot pinpoint what exactly will be there. Overall idea of the government is to attract foreign direct investments and encourage them to invest into Canada. There were some interviews already as a reflection to the budget by Business Council of Canada. The CEO of Business Council of Canada, Goldie Hyder, yesterday gave an interview to CBC Radio. He said that he's a bit disappointed in terms of he expected more from this budget in terms of incentivizing foreign direct investment into Canada, and we didn't see that in the budget. There are certain tax benefits or tax incentives, but according to the CEO of Business Council of Canada, it doesn't really encourage foreign investment coming into the country. But we will see. There are the plans are very, they set a lot of big goals, but I think they should be changing some tax regulations for investment and foreign business owners as well. But from immigration side, we are expecting that the business owners in Canada will have a clear pathway for permanent residency. Remember, there were additional points awarded for job offer. Usually that was the method for mature business owners over the age of 40 to transition to PR. That additional point mechanism is no longer there. That's why we are expecting under express entry to recognize senior management, experienced people somehow so that they can transition to permanent residency under express entry. If you have more questions, please don't hesitate. We collect questions and then come back to those questions in due course, but we also have some questions from Facebook. Yeah, here's a question from Facebook. Are there new funding or incentives programs for entrepreneurs? Not that it relates to immigration, but there will be some programs. We will touch those incentives next time, because now we don't know whether this budget will be adopted or not. There's a plan. There's a budget presentation was done. I don't know any. It didn't come to my mind to look through those 500 pages. No incentives yet, especially for foreign entrepreneurs. There will be, as I mentioned, some tax incentives discussed further, but I didn't see anything for just giving new funding or new incentives in the entrepreneur audience. We will see. I will read the budget again. It was just announced yesterday. I read only the immigration part. If I find some tidbits in terms of what new funding is available for entrepreneurs, I will highlight it in my posts and other next live session for sure. Okay, again, from the website that we gathered that new question. What does tightening temporary residency mean? Okay, tightening temporary residency means that government will allow fewer temporary residents. International students are the biggest hit, international students. Foreign workers, there will be some exceptions for rural communities and remote communities and some professions like healthcare and construction. So they are squeezing down the number of temporary residents from what is now 7.5% of the total population all the way to below 5% by 2027. So they will be admitting fewer temporary status people into Canada going forward. The temporary status holders are visitors, temporary foreign workers, international students, and so on. So these are three main categories, and they will be decreasing the number of admissions. Okay, and Ziad Fakran, Ziad is asking, any clear entrepreneur self-employed PR pathway? At the moment, that's if you are focused on PR alone, at the moment, this is provincial PNP programs for entrepreneurs. I know very good programs in Alberta, Rural Entrepreneur Program. In New Brunswick, very good programs, and see the businesses for sale and subscribe to our newsletter. We are sending available businesses for sale in New Brunswick. Alberta, New Brunswick should be your priority. And BC has some rural entrepreneur programs with direct access to PR after you perform a certain time, after you run your business for some time. It's a self-employed, you work on your business and in your business. That's a direct pathway at the moment. The startup visa program that was very popular among foreign entrepreneurs is struggling at the moment, and there are some background issues going on with startup visa. For example, there is a speculation that because of the big backlog in applications, the certain category of immigration applications will be canceled, including the startup visa program. So I don't recommend startup visa at the moment unless something changes in the coming weeks. So PNP Entrepreneur Program, Ziad, is the best pathway so far. And we have achieved, you can go to our website. So let me share my screen. Go to our website, read this Alberta story. We got work permit because under provincial nominee program, you get a work permit first, you perform, you run your business for some time, and then become PR. So we got a work permit for this client in 7 weeks. So Alberta Rural Entrepreneur Program is a good program, and we have a proof with this success story. Okay. There are other questions I can see. 1 second. Let me bring this question. Avaz Bek is asking the following question. Based on your experience, how long do you think it might take to implement the changes? And once implemented, would they likely affect all previously submitted PR applications as well? Well, a question about previous applications, they will not affect previous applications. They are already in the pipeline. They might be, if there's a bill C12 being promoted in Canada's Parliament, if that bill C12 is adopted, there's a backlog of PR applications. If you are in that backlog and they try to decrease that backlog, there is a potential danger that certain PR applications may also be affected under that cancellation power that Bill C-12 is giving to the government. But it's not adopted yet. Now, the first part of your question is when they will implement the change. First, the budget needs to be adopted. If it's adopted, the implementation will start early next year, 2026, because the immigration plan is about 2026, 2027, and 28, so the next 3 years. And I hope the genuine PR applications that were submitted before January 1st, 2026 will not be affected by the new plan. In terms of numbers, I think the PR applications to be finalized in 2026 will go under that target of 380,000 PRs admitted in that single year in 2026. If your PR application is now ongoing, is pending, and it will be finalized in 2026, you will be among those 380,000 potential PR candidates for that year. Next question that we collected in advance, follow-up question from Tightening Temporary Residency. Does this mean fewer opportunities for newcomers? Well, what kind of newcomer you are? If you are newcomer as a PR newcomer, then that's doesn't apply to you. But if you are coming as a student, as a visitor, as a worker, yes, then the tightening of temporary residency will be affecting you too, as a new policy of decreasing temporary residence. I have a question from Tanvir. Thank you for your question. What is the future you predict for those thousands of SUV startup visa applicants who are already inside Canada? There might be two ways to look at this. Tanvir, that's a great question. That's a $1 million question. If $1 million in the sense that if 5 co-founders invested $200,000 for one startup to be able to apply under SUV, that's a $1 million question, right? So first of all, the background. The SUV has been heavily abused by not genuine applicants, okay? I heard applicants who submitted application and did nothing about their startups. So the point that government is trying to raise about SUV is how we can clear out that SUV backlog from genuine and not genuine applications. Some people were, as I said, just applied and they were sitting on their startup doing nothing. There's no progress. So in our article, if you go to our website, let me try to find it, we explained why there are a theory on SUV approval rates going down. See, the SUV approval rates were going down, and we discussed it in this article. So government is trying to clear that backlog in 2 ways. One is refusing fast those incomplete applications, okay? They're refusing them fast in terms of PR, from the PR perspective. And the second, the government is trying to push Bill C-12 that will allow the government to cancel certain categories of backlogs immediately. That will give them the power theoretically to cancel the backlog of this SUV program. Now, what you can do if you are an SUV applicant in the pipeline, you are waiting for your status. What you can do, Tanvir, is, let me bring the question. What you can do if you're inside Canada, work on your startup, make progress, make sales, change your startup, do your periodical reports and send it to IRCC and tell that your startup is alive, it's moving forward, you're genuinely working on your startup. And if you're inside Canada, you probably have open work permit, right? Try to get Canadian work experience in as much as possible, because if your startup visa project doesn't bring you PR, at least you have an alternative pathways like Canadian Experience Class or so and so on. So remember, the government plans to give 30,000 people who are actively currently working in Canada, perhaps some of them are already on a work permit from startup visa program. If they are working, paying taxes, and so on, those 30,000 people will become PR. I hope the clarity will come in terms of who those 30,000 people will be, and we will see some relief for startup visa program applicants like you, for example, who are already doing great contributions to Canada's economy. We will see, but that's my two predictions. Either they will cancel it, if not totally, but partially. They will clean the backlog. I think the backlog is around 47,000 people, which is roughly 17,000 applications under startup visa program. That's too much. That's 17,000 innovative ideas coming to Canada. That's too much. So they will clear at least partially using their new powers if Bill C-12 will be adopted. That's my one prediction. Second is those 30,000 that they want to convert into PR, those who are working in Canada and doing great things. I think some startup visa open work permit holders will be among them to benefit from that conversion into permanent residence. So that's two cents. At the moment, the processing times are like unbearably long, and I don't think they will go down anytime soon. But that's where we are. I hope the immigration minister, the new minister, has been very silent since her appointment. I hope after this budget, she will be more vocal, telling us more details. At the moment, we don't know much about what's going to happen with startup visa program. It's just speculation, and I hope it brings some clarity very soon from the immigration minister, IRCC. All right, now let me come back to questions again. Tanvir, that's a great question. That's a tough question. I give you that. From Instagram, the question from Instagram. I'm already in Canada on a work or study permit. That's I think, hypothetical situation. Okay. Will these changes affect me? Yes, it may affect you in two ways. One, if you are on a work permit, then if you are working, doing great jobs, you may benefit from that conversion of 30,000 people into PR. That could be. And if you are on a study permit, that's good already. Complete your study, graduate from your study, get your postgraduate work permit, and get Canadian experience. So stay in Canada legally. And when the time is right, convert yourself into PR. So yes, it will affect you. If not directly, it will affect you indirectly by the whole idea of whether it's government will try to limit new incoming flow, but they will try to convert inside Canada applicants who are on work permit or study permit into permanent residence in due course. It will be slow, but it will be now systematic. Get education in high demand professions, get Canadian experience in high demand professions, and focus on rural and remote communities. Don't hesitate to move to Nova Scotia or to move to Alberta, to move to New Brunswick. Don't hesitate. It's that phase of your life in Canada that needs a lot of flexibility. You need to be super flexible just to fit into one of the PR programs. Provincial nominee programs will be a great opportunity for you. Look into that, and you will find a great solution for yourself. Be flexible, be patient. Tanvir came back with a follow-up. I was seeing that many consultants shared last week that on 24th of October, IRCC sent email to designated organizations saying that there's no indication of cancellation of SUV as a whole under C-12. What's your take on that? Yes, they will not cancel as a whole, but they will make certain actions so that SUV will be affected. The candidates under SUV program at the moment, 47,000 people sitting in the SUV pile, they will be affected. Of course, this is a very diplomatic way of saying, oh, we will not cancel it totally. Let's imagine if they cancel 10%. if they refuse 10%. The refusal rate, I want to share again. Recently, here are the refusal rates, right? Applications received, of course, this is arguable. What does it mean, application received? It means that application is complete and then goes to the next process. Applications processed, down 92%. That's an indication of they are triaging, they are filtering those applications which are complete or incomplete. Approval, down 98%. Approval rate overall plummeted, right? What those numbers indicate? Those numbers, to me, they indicate that government is refusing quite fast those SUV applications because they want to clear the backlog. Of course, they don't have to cancel the whole program. The program will continue, but it will be substantial. The applicants under that program will be affected very substantially. It's not like you don't have to cancel the whole program. All you have to do is to say, those who did not make any progress under SUV, those for years they were waiting and doing nothing on their startup, goodbye. Okay, they will say, okay, you did nothing. Now here's go. This is the result of doing nothing. It could be 10,000 people, it could be 5,000 people or so. They don't have to cancel it. They have to take action on that those numbers of backlogs sitting under SUV program. Of course, they will not be canceling, but they will. I'm sure they will refuse a lot of PR SUV candidates. They will, because I know from my practice there were thousands of applicants who were sitting in their home countries, not even coming to Canada on a work permit. Once they apply for PR, they were expecting that PR will come in 3 years, 5 years, doesn't matter, it will come. No, it's not. It's a bad expectation. It's a bad strategy. So that's my take. Yes, they don't have to cancel it, but they will affect it. They will influence the program so much that it will not be a small change. Okay. Hein is asking the question: Can I apply for fake postgraduate work permit extension for me and my husband and withdraw it before rejection? I don't advise on fake moves or ingenuine applications. That's against the law, and I don't advise to any fake applications. Go with genuine. If you cannot get your work permit or if you cannot maintain your status, go back to your home country, get your experience, be more qualified, and come again. Okay, Canada will not disappear in the next whatever years. It will have immigration programs. It will be selecting more rigorously, but I don't advise on doing anything fake. Okay, do it genuinely, and you will get a genuine result. And fake postgraduate work permit application means misrepresentation, right? Misrepresenting, even if you become PR one day or Canadian citizen one day, because of your past misrepresentation, they can come after you and say, hey, 5 years ago you misrepresented this, and we are getting an action against you. They can do it. Look what's going on in the US. Look what's going to happen in Canada. They will be really on top of things going forward. I don't advise doing anything not genuine. Okay. Consult with your lawyer if you have a lawyer. Come up with a genuine passage to a status, or whether it's a temporary status or whether it's a permanent status. And doing fake applications, what will you gain from that? What is it? Just a temporary status in Canada for some time until the rejection, before rejection? No, it's not a good strategy. And lawyers should never advise applicants to do anything fake. Okay. Ziad is coming back to the. By the way, we will take as much time as possible to answer all your questions. So don't hesitate. Send me your questions while we are broadcasting live. Okay. Ziad has come back with another question. For those who have C11 or C10 work permit inside Canada, can they convert PR based on the latest update? Well, C11 and C10 are significant benefit work permits, and these are mostly for entrepreneurs. And if you are self-employed, they can convert. That's what we are waiting for Express Entry to change a little bit, because under Express Entry, they have to recognize entrepreneur work experience or business management work experience. At the moment, they are not able, these C11 or C10 holders, they're not able to transition to PR because the additional points were removed. Now we expect that in January, there will be some changes in the Express Entry that will recognize senior management experience, entrepreneurial experience for those who entrepreneurs under these work permits. I hope so. And can they convert to PR? Yes, depending on what changes we will see in the law. This is the plan, Ziad. As I said before, this is just a plan. The real actions on how they will implement this plan, we will see in the coming weeks, hopefully sooner than later, okay? Please stay tuned. We will give you more substance when the changes, hopefully in January. That's what I expect. Samin is asking this question. My friend has a software company with a high turnover in the US, and he asked me to open a second branch in Canada. I'm here with closed C11 work permit. If I do that, can I apply for a startup visa to get to PR? Samin, I don't advise you at the moment to apply to startup visa, okay? If your friend is opening his branch in Canada, he or she can hire you, depending on the nature. It's a software company. If you are a software specialist or you have senior management experience, he can hire you for the Canadian branch as a global talent stream, because you are under C11. You have to get another employer who can help you to transition to another work permit. Global talent stream is a good option. If you are a software engineer, Global Talent Stream Category B is also a good option for you to transition from C11 to that another work permit. Also, he can hire you for your Canadian branch. If you were, I don't think in your question I can find that you didn't work for the U.S. company, right? For your friend's U.S. company, no. I'm thinking of intra-company transfer, but I don't think it will work in your case. So Global Talent Stream, that's one option. If Global Talent Stream doesn't work, look into the where in Canada he will establish his Canadian branch. If he establishes in those provinces that have tech immigration pathways, so consider that. For example, Alberta is a great location. Nova Scotia is a great location for Canadian branch. It depends where he will open his Canadian branch, and in that province, do you have ways to convert to transition to another work permit or potentially to permanent residence? So look into that. Startup visa is not a great option at the moment. Okay, I was discussing with another member of the audience, Ziad, was asking about the startup visa program. There's a huge backlog there. And getting PR under startup visa program as of today, November 5, 2025, it's very, very difficult, okay? I'm not advising any startup visa pathways to my clients. I'm telling, if you want to PR, let's look into provincial nominee programs for entrepreneurs. If you want temporary status, just to do business, let's look into C11, C10, perhaps intra-company transfer or global talent stream and so on. So startup visa program is not my favorite program at the moment. Okay. Tanvir, we were discussing with Tanvir about startup visa program, not Ziad. Okay. My partner applied work permit renewal as a closed work permit and waiting for decision. Did not apply 3-year open work permit, so that she focus fully on the startup. That's great. Yeah, okay, that's good. If she focuses on her startup, and does she have any traction of the startup? What has she achieved since her application. That's also important. So if she gets renewal as a closed work permit holder, will that be 1 year like first time, or IRCC only issuing renewal 3-year open work permit? IRCC is issuing for startup visa applicants who applied for PR on the startup visa, they are issuing 3-year open work permit. And to be honest, why would you need closed work permit when you have an opportunity to get 3-year open work permit? 3-year open work permit was about recognizing that startup company will not generate any money in the first several years. So you can, as an entrepreneur, as a startup founder, work somewhere else with your open work permit to make a living, and while you're running your startup visa, project yourself in Canada. I think if she gets a renewal, she should get a 3-year open work permit. So it's been a while then because she has completed her first work permit. She's now renewing it. So it means that the startup is not new. It has been some time has passed. That startup should have made some progress, right? And that progress is very, very important to declare. And if she has an opportunity to get 3-year open work permit, I would go with 3-year open work permit, because you never know what can happen with her startup, depending on the progress she did or did not achieve until now. She better get an open work permit. To my mind, that's my suggestion. Samin is asking a follow-up question. No, I'm not software engineer. I'm a civil engineer, but the software related to construction and builder. Okay, I want to stay only in Toronto, and I never worked for that company. Okay, then global talent stream is something that you need to consider. That the new Canadian branch, they can hire usually up to 2 global talent stream category A. Category A means executives. Okay, you will be one of the executive management of that Canadian branch, and the salary should not be less than 80,000 per year. I believe that's the latest number, but you have to check. Global talent stream work permits, they are issued within 2 or 3 weeks. It's very fast. Okay, consider that seriously. I think global talent stream could be. And if you don't want to go anywhere else other than Toronto, and Ontario doesn't have any entrepreneur programs at the moment on a provincial level, I would say that if it's in Toronto, then global talent stream, or if the Canadian branch has enough finances, good money injected into Canadian branch, then that Canadian branch can even go to LMIA, a traditional LMIA pathway, to support your work permit. But again, talk to a lawyer, let that American company who's expanding into Canada talk to a business immigration lawyers and identify the best way to hire you as a talent for the Canadian branch, okay? Oh, great. Yeah, type your questions here and we will answer them all. We will take as much time as necessary today, so because these are important and very timely questions, to be honest. It's very good questions. Samin is following up. Sorry, but the owner of the USA should be the shareholder. It should not be me because he asked me to do everything. Well, these are very specific, Samin. The US company can own the Canadian entity, okay? It's the shareholder in the US company will be the shareholder of the Canadian company. That's not a problem. It's more concerns you. You don't have to be a shareholder, okay? You don't have to. You can be an employee of the Canadian branch. So from that perspective, I think you need that the owner of the US company and you should book a consultation, maybe with our team, and discuss all the details, because you are giving me little bits of information. We need to look at the biggest picture and what you're trying to achieve, what are the financials involved, and what is the market? Have they researched Canadian market, why they are expanding into Canada, and so on. If they are software, I think they have a good chance to be in Canada, good reasons to be in Canada. And if you talk to us, we will help you as much as we can to find the right pathway to your work permit and potentially permanent residency. Okay, and question from our audience from Telegram. We are also on Telegram platform. If you go and search Sobirovs Law Firm on Telegram, you will find our channel there. And now the question from that platform: how does the government plan to balance immigration growth with housing and infrastructure so that newcomers can build businesses and settle successfully? Well, they are building a lot of housing units. They are planning to build a lot of housing units. And as I mentioned before, construction industry is given some flexibility in terms of hiring temporary foreign workers. Government is creating affordable housing. Those contractors that will be building affordable housing, they will be helping them as a government. There are a lot of incentives. If you want to build prefabricated homes in Canada, this is the right time to come to Canada and build those type of homes in this country. Okay? Excuse me, let's have a quick break and then we will come back.
To stay updated on all things related to Canadian business immigration, check us out on social media. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter for the latest news and updates. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the notification bell to stay informed about the most recent immigration news, interviews with top immigration specialists, and our weekly live shows. Visit our website at www.sobirovs.com for more information or to book a consultation with our team of experts.
All right, we are back. For those who just joined us, I can see almost 16 people are watching us at the moment. Thank you for your active participation. Any questions, leave them in the comments. If you decide not to send questions now, go leave them in the comment section. In the next hour, we will be in the comment section answering your questions to the best of our skills. Okay? Now, another question. Samin said, can you please put the link to book a consultation session? Okay, of course, the booking is also on our website. If you go to sobirovs.com website, there's a button called Talk to a Lawyer. You press this button. Also, while I'm on the website, there's a fee calculator on the top right-hand corner and other great resources. We are creating a lot of calculators to assess your chances. Of course, you can go to social media and leave your comment. We read each and every comment from social media. We are very active on social media. So as I said, in the next hour, we will be in the comment section. Leave your questions there. And by the way, in the description section, we will insert all the necessary links too. Okay. Now, if you have any questions, please let me know. If not, then I suggest that you subscribe to Sobirovs Law Firm YouTube channel and all other social media platforms. We are there very actively, and thank you for those who follow us. And most of those who watch our videos are not subscribed. Please, subscription is a token of support from your side, and I really appreciate your support. Thank you. Okay, if you have questions, I will still take some, but if you don't have any questions, then we will say goodbye. It's been a pleasure to answer your questions, and hopefully Canada's budget will bring us some certainty, some clarity. If you have any questions, follow us on social media. Leave a comment and we will get back to you. Thank you again. See you next time. Have a great day. Bye.